Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Brody. Thank y'all, as always, for tapping back in with Broadcast Wrestling this week. I want to talk briefly about a situation that's going on in AEW because I find it very, very interesting as it has progressed over the last couple of weeks. And that is the situation with Brody King, who has come under some fire lately, been in some controversy because a few weeks ago on AEW Dynamite Television, a chant broke out before his match against MJF of "fuck Ice," and that clip went viral, was everywhere, all over the news cycle, not just within the wrestling space, but it was on TMZ. I'm sure Fox News had it, CNN, a whole bunch of places. And this isn't the first time Brody King has been involved with politics when it comes to AEW television. He's worn an "Abolish ICE" shirt a few times. And I know on social media he's very vocal about his politics, even to the point to where resurfaced posts that he put up on Instagram not too long ago, subliminally calling violence to police, appeared. And this was just a photograph of the aftermath of the Undertaker Big Boss Man match from WrestleMania 15, where Big Boss Man was hung from the Hell in a Cell cage. Pretty gnarly stuff, but like I said, he used that subliminally to speak politics. And ultimately, it led to him missing AEW television this past Wednesday, this recording, right before his world title match against MJF. It took place last night. Good match, solid match. Terrible ending, but solid match. And it's led to a lot of very, very interesting conversation within the wrestling space involving politics. And just people's reaction to politics within the wrestling space, the politics of the wrestling space, because I do think there's very clear politics within the community as a whole, and just the idea that, hey, we should keep wrestling and politics completely separate. Wrestling is supposed to be this escape where politics are not involved, real world issues are not involved. And let me start the conversation and my thoughts on this by saying this. Number one, at this point, you really cannot separate pro wrestling and politics at all. It's very hard and difficult to do. Just look at who's in the White House and the Hall of Fame that he's a part of. And let's go look at the Secretary of Education and what her last name is and what it is that she's famous for. Right now, politics and pro wrestling are very connected at the hip just because of that alone. Next, within that conversation, I think that Brody King, his heart is in the right place. He wants to, in terms of ICE, I agree with him. I hate what's going on with all that stuff. People getting killed, people getting snatched away from their families, all the stuff that we see in the news constantly. But the slippery slope that Brody King has run into now is its politics has sunken into corporate money. When you have something where you're known for your stance against ICE, but it's bleeding over into AEW television where you have corporate sponsors looking at you, the network looking at you, it becomes a situation where now you're no longer going to be able to dictate the reaction that you're going to get or receive from your stance. Normally when people, especially with Brody King, from what I've seen, a lot of his stuff has been on social media besides wearing the Abolish ICE shirts. And that's cool, that's fine, that's fair. You're able to do that. That's your platform. You're able to say what you want. You're able to do what you want. But when it comes into television, like I just said, that's when it becomes a problem. Because a lot of these corporations, truth be told, they are on the opposite side of the political end. Regardless of what they say, regardless of what they do, at the end of the day, these are rich people that are out to make money. And when you're on the Trump side of the aisle, and I'll just go ahead and say it like that, your stance is probably more than likely going to be with the Trump side. Why? Because Trump is about people making money, the rich making a lot of money, and just continuing to be rich while the middle class becomes the poor, or seeps into the poor, and the poor remain poor. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where I think he messed up at, especially if he called to violence against police. Once again, I'm a black man in America, so I am not all the way cool with the police and how they operate. However, once you call for violence of any kind, at that point you are going to lose that fight every single time, regardless of whether or not people agree with you or not. You're going to usually lose that fight regardless. Now, in terms of, like I had mentioned before about the wrestling conversation with politics and it being and what the politics are within the wrestling space, I just find it very, very interesting, just the different levels of reaction to certain things within the political space of wrestling. I think the wrestling community by far is a more openly liberal sort of space, which is cool, fine. I mean, I'm in the middle, so I really don't care either way. Like, I'm gonna like what I like, I'm gonna say what I say, and it is what it is. But it's very much so a liberal space. And the thing that I've gathered about a lot of liberal spaces, especially when it's just predominantly liberal in that way, there's a weird kind of double standard that comes out, and it always shows in situations like this. And I'll give you a great example of that. So I think about a month or so ago, Priscilla Kelly, I hope I say her name right, formerly Gigi Dolan from NXT, posted on Twitter that she was going to do a show in Israel. Didn't say anything about being a Zionist, didn't say anything about, accepting and liking what's going on in Gaza right now. But just simply said, hey, I'm going to do this show in Israel. And the amount of backlash and hate that she got went to the point to where not only did she have to back out the show, but she had to delete her social media accounts. And to me, it's like, on one hand, should she be aware of what's going on? Should she understand the landscape and space that she's in to say, maybe I shouldn't accept that show? Sure. But the idea that she was ridiculed so much just because she accepted a booking in Israel, to the point where she not just backed out but had to get rid of her social media, that's wild to me. That's really, really crazy to me, just because she has the right. She's she has the right. She's an independent contractor. There you go. I'm drawing a blank on what I was trying to say, but she's an independent contractor. So if she wants to book a show in Israel, so be it. That's on her. She wants to book a show here in the United States, so be it. That's on her. She wants to book a show in North Korea. God bless her for making the attempt to go over there and pull a Dennis Rodman. But so be it, okay? Just because you say you're willing to go to a place does not mean you're willing to accept everything that comes with the politics of it. I'm sure there's plenty of people right now in WWE, and they'll never admit to this. They don't agree with everything, all the laws and all the different traditions and things that go on in Saudi Arabia, but they're not gonna be like, hey, I'm just never gonna go. I think at first they were, but once they realized, hey, this isn't gonna go away. Like, I can't just solely say, well, I'm just never gonna go to Saudi Arabia. And so they go and they accept it, and they oftentimes you hear them say, well, I went and I didn't expect it to be the way that it was, which is fair. If you go over there, you experience it, and you had your thoughts going in, and it changes after you go, so be it. And so be it. Congratulations to you. But I just feel as if there's a weird double standard with that, and it occurs in all things. But to me, in wrestling, it just happens so much within the political landscape of the things that we accept from some people, but then we try to bash other people for it because we don't like them. We don't like the way that they view wrestling or something. Like, it's dumb. It's trivial. It's stupid to me. And I just don't like it. I think it sets a bad standard. I think it doesn't make the community inviting. And truth be told, those type of things are the reason why someone like Brody King is going to get suspended by Warner Brothers Discovery and being told, allegedly, I don't know, I'm saying allegedly because I don't want to get sued here. But that's why those type of things are going to happen, because to them, they don't want to offend people. That's truly the name of the game now, is, hey, we just don't want to offend people. Our politics are going to be where they are. We going to stand with the money. We always going to stand with the money. But we just don't want to make people mad to the point to where they start looking into the money itself and where the money comes from and how people actually do view things as you go specific person by person by person within the organization. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I just hate that this situation has become what it has. I think Brody King is an outstanding wrestler. He's a different type of dude, and I respect the fact that he does use his platform to speak on what he feels, man. I can always applaud someone, whether I agree with them or disagree with them, for them to stand up in their beliefs and be able to vocalize that to the people. And if they're questioned about it, if they somebody disagrees, or if they're questioned about it, they're willing to stand on it and explain what it is and why it is that they feel that way. And not only that, Brody King is also, from what I understand, raised money and put it, his own money where his mouth is in terms of these issues, these social issues. So I shout out to the brother, and I respect him for doing that. So yeah, this has been an interesting situation, a very interesting thing that's come up within the wrestling space, and just how politics kind of work within it, and just the people who are the most vocal about it in terms of this stuff. Because to me, when it's something like what I explained earlier with Gigi Dolan, usually the most vocal people about those type of things are the people who have the most buzzwordy, cliche type of profiles, where I'm pro this, I'm pro that, I'm this, sexual orientation, I'm this gender, I'm this, and I'm that. And I'm not saying that any of those things, if people are that way, is a bad thing, because hey, people gonna live their life the way they want to live it, and if you willing to live in that truth, I respect it. I can't go against you or be mad at you about it. But at the same time, some of the visceral reaction that you have against one thing, where for somebody else it could be correct, and I'm not talking about the most extreme of extremes here, but I mean just even softball issues that you disagree on politically, where you take it to a level of extreme where it's the end of the world, where people feel this way, but then when it's brought back on you, that's when you want to throw out the phobias and all that type of stuff, and that's not fair to people. I always preach, and I've been like this on this platform since I started it, and I'm gonna continue to do it as much as until the day that I die. I'm gonna teach my daughter this, any other kids that I have, I'm gonna teach my dog this. Think the way you want to think, live your life the way you want to live, as long as you're not hurting nobody, you ain't doing nothing crazy. Live the life that you want to live, have the stances that you want to have, and stand on them. Stand on those stances when it's time to be questioned, and if there's room for you to change, and room for you to grow, and room for you to learn new things, and room for you to just improve your knowledge and your thought process on whatever it is, do that and admit to that and say, hey, I thought this way about the world, or I thought this way about a subject, and you know what, I got some better information, I learned, I studied, I read, I saw, I had different experiences, and now the way that I think has changed. And I can't be mad at somebody that's like that. But if you always is just on this one trick stance about everything, and you're not willing to have a conversation, you're not willing to change, you're not willing to grow, you're not willing to look outside of just your own personal group. I don't even want to say group thought, because I feel like group thought is such a cliche thing to say after I just criticize cliche things. But if you can't step outside of your own traits and look at something from another person's perspective, truth be told, your opinion it ain't gonna change much of anything. It isn't going to affect much of anything. And truth be told, it's probably gonna ultimately bring more division as it continues to wear on people. So yeah, like I said before, this is very interesting to me. This is a very fascinating conversation, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Do y'all feel as if Brody King has been right in terms of his... Matter of fact, no, scratch that. I want to ask the question, how do y'all feel about politics being in wrestling, and do y'all feel like they go hand in hand? Because personally, like I said before, I do look at Trump, look at Lyndon McMahon, look at the jobs that they have within this country, the power that they have within this country, look at gimmicks that people have based on politics in wrestling, or using political tropes about certain things as a piece of wrestling storyline. I just think they tie hand in hand, and truth be told, sometimes they're one and the same, for real. But anyway, I'm just want to know what y'all's thoughts are on that perspective, thoughts on that logic? And do y'all feel as if Brody King should be punished for being so vocal about his political stances? Do you think that Warner Bros. Discovery was right for holding him off Dynamite after that chant? Do you think that he's going to be off Dynamite for a while, at least on American soil, because he was in Australia last night? Do you think this is going to affect his career to the point where, you know, he may never come back and be able to have as strong of a run as he is now? Or do you think the reverse? Do you think he's going to become a bigger deal because of something like this? Yeah, those are just my thoughts and my questions for y'all. But anyway, like I said, this broadcast Arsenal. Thank y'all as always for tapping in. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, do all the fun stuff that everybody always asks for y'all to do anytime y'all watch a video or listen to a video on YouTube or anywhere else. All the plugs is in the description box below, so please be sure to follow them. And yeah, man, it's been your boy Brody. Thank y'all as always for hearing your boy out, tapping in. And I'll catch y'all next week, man. Y'all take it easy. Peace.